You know, there was a time when a television screen could transport you to different galaxies.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Microscopic worlds.
Specimens, Major. Plants are shooting off spores.
Or right into the depths of your own paranoid imagination.
We are the remaining survivors of the human race.
All within the space of an hour. In the early 60s, one network gave the green light to a bold new experiment, something they called science fiction. But it often felt more like science anxiety. It premiered without a warning. There's nothing wrong with your television set, but behind the camera? Oh, there was plenty wrong. It was brilliant. It was bizarre. It terrified children. And it baffled the censors. And just when it was hitting its stride, they pulled the plug.
The population of Earth, 70 billion people, were turned into electrical impulses.
Oh man, what a show this was. This is the story of the show that gave us aliens, monsters, Cold War paranoia, and some of the wildest behind-the-scenes chaos that you've never even heard of. Coming up next on Rerun Zone. Fantasy, sci-fi, nostalgia, Rerun Zone. The year was 1963. President Kennedy was still alive. The Twilight Zone was winding down, and ABC, man, they needed a hit. That's when producer Joseph Stefano, fresh off writing Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, pitched in something dark, cerebral, and just a little bit dangerous.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture.
The network bit, cautiously. What they got, if you haven't guessed already, is a little show called The Outer Limits. Creator Leslie Stevens and producer Joseph Stefano introduced The Outer Limits to American audiences. Unlike its contemporaries, this anthology series delved deep into speculative science fiction, presenting self-contained stories that they often ended with a twist, kind of like its cousin, The Twilight Zone. In fact, think of it as The Twilight Zone's edgier cousin, who dropped out of film school and started a garage band about quantum physics. You get the idea. Now, every week, the show delivered a new tale of what if. What if your mind could be transferred to another body? What if your TV started talking back?
Mr. Lomax, the machines are everywhere.
What if the government had already made contact with aliens? Oh man, that was crazy stuff. The premiere episode, The Galaxy Being, aired on September 16, 1963, and it featured Cliff Robertson as Alan Maxwell, a radio engineer who makes contact with an extraterrestrial entity from the Andromeda Galaxy.
Who are you?
The alien, portrayed physically by William O. Douglas Jr. and Charles McQuarrie, with the uncredited voice provided by the show's creator, Leslie Stevens himself.
No way to stop. No way to get out.
Was a being of pure energy, misunderstood by humanity. Critics were mesmerized by the show. Kids, they were hooked. And parents, well, they were concerned. Now, what made The Outer Limits different wasn't just the subject matter. It was how weirdly good it looked. The video team used film quality lighting, and the special effects department used elaborate prosthetics. Their creature shop became legendary. One of their designers, Hua Chang, the same man who would later design the phaser, the tricorder, and the communicator for Star Trek. Through his company, Project Unlimited, Hua Chang was responsible for designing and building many of the show's most memorable monsters and special effects. For example, he created the creature in The Architects of Fear, which was considered by many so terrifying that it was rarely shown in full on screen. He also crafted hand puppet monsters, such as the one used in The Invisible Enemy, and contributed to other creature effects throughout the series. But not everyone was thrilled. The ABC execs, well, they were getting twitchy. The stories were too bleak. The aliens, too freaky. And Stefano? He didn't like being told to tone it down. In fact, he walked away after season 1, after butting heads over scripts, censorship, and a growing list of network notes.
We can't afford to lose another of you. Certainly not for lack of courage.
Now, the first season of The Outer Limits had a loyal following and a vocal cult following. Sci-Fi fans, college kids, and even some forward-thinking critics were hooked. They saw The Outer Limits as something more than a Monster of the Week show. It was cerebral, unnerving, poetic even.
We survive here. They'll take every capable, able-bodied human being alive.
But that wasn't enough for ABC. You see, the network executives wanted broader appeal. They wanted safer stories, more traditional characters, and less existential dread.
For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear.
So, what did they do? Well, they booted the show from its Monday night slot and dropped it into a ratings graveyard. Saturday nights, right up against the unstoppable force that was the Jackie Gleason show.
How sweet it is!
That's like putting your haunted house up next to Disneyland and wondering why no one's coming in. So what was the result? Well, ratings didn't just dip. They cratered like a Martian probe with no landing gear. And while all that was going on behind the scenes, there was a creative shakeup. Joseph Stefano, the heart and soul of the show, he was out after season 1. He left partly out of frustration. The censors, they were breathing down his neck, and ABC was chopping up his scripts. And the budget? Don't get me started. In season 2, the show's new producers were working with less money and even less freedom. The stories, well, they were still strange, but the soul, the haunted, thought-provoking energy that made The Outer Limits feel like a late-night transmission from another dimension, that was pretty much gone. I mean, there were some bright spots, but for the most part, the second season was really watered down. Instead of the brooding philosophical tales about identity, paranoia, and technology gone wrong, we got more straightforward alien encounters. Think less Rod Serling, more Space Lizard. Even the legendary makeup artist Hua Chang, who designed some of the show's most iconic creatures, couldn't save it from the slow slide into mediocrity. And so, in January of 1965, The Outer Limits was officially pulled off the air. Just 49 episodes, no farewell special, no finale, no, we now return control of your television set to you one last time. It didn't get a grand send-off. It just flickered out.
We now return control of your television set to you.
But the echoes, they never really stopped. You could see The Outer Limits' influence everywhere, from the X-Files to Black Mirror to every creepy conspiracy TikTok that lands in your feed at 2 a.m. In fact, George Lucas said it shaped how he thought about science fiction. And the 1995 reboot, it was a direct descendant right down to the opening monologue. But the original, that version, still holds up. It's still eerie, still smart, still unsettling in the best way possible. The Outer Limits was ahead of its time, maybe too far ahead. It lit up the screen with wonder and fear and vanished just as quickly as it came. But for a short moment in TV history, there was control of your television set, and the message coming through wasn't comfort, it was a warning. And man, did it make for great television. I wanted to make a tribute to possibly one of the best science fiction series of all time. So I hope you enjoyed this little trip into the past to pay tribute to a brilliant TV show that was truly ahead of its time. If you like this format, let me know in the comments. This is Rich from Rerun Zone, returning control of YouTube to you. Until next time. Thanks for watching, and good night.
You are practiced executioners. We thank you.